Hello, everyone. Today we are conducting this webinar together with my colleague Siok. Uh, so, Siok, will you turn on your camera? So, hello, everyone. Thank you for coming to our webinar. We will conduct this webinar together with my colleague Siok, and we will tell you very interesting things about what we can achieve studying and practicing the methods of Grigori Grabovoi. Let me introduce myself. My name is Olga Taloshная, and I'm a translator, a teacher, and of course a student of the teachings of Grigori Grabovoi. I have been studying his teachings for more than 15 years, so I assure myself on my personal results what a person can achieve studying and practicing the methods of Grigori Grabovoi. And now I want other people to learn the same. I want other people to help to get the same results. Now I would like my colleague to introduce herself, and then I will continue with my presentation, and then she will do her presentation. So.
You are now unmuted. Hello, everyone. I'd just like to introduce myself. It's a little bit longer than Olga because Olga is so well known. So my name is actually Tian Sepian. I'm the organizer of the introductory course, the first one in Asia, and we would like to invite every one of you to join us from May 10 to 15 if you can. So just to share with you about how I got on to the teachings of Grigori Grabovoi. In 2012, I had to face some serious information about my health, and I had to save myself. So I was looking for a system of knowledge that could help me. I knew of Grigori Grabovoi and his books, but I didn't know how to study it systematically because a lot of people at that time was teaching the teachings of Grigori Grabovoi and also in the mixed method. So to my luck, I met Dr. Marina in 2013. And when I met her and I heard her speak, I knew that this was the way that I wanted to study the teachings of Grigori Grabovoi because it was systematic and it was a science. And also I understood why it's important not to die and to prevent anyone else from dying. And this is how I live my life from then on, which is following the teachings on salvation and harmonious development, ensuring eternal life for myself and for everyone. And since then, I've taken this study very seriously. And I'm sorry, my dog is barking at me. And I've actually attended 3 introductory courses run by Dr. Marina and studied also at the Education Center when it was opened in 2015. And after 1 year, I was invited to be a lecturer in the Education Center. And in 2016, I actually lectured for the Control Specialist course on the book, The Resurrection and the Teachings of Grigori Grabovoi. So I hope that you will enjoy your time with Olga, and that's all I have to say. And please join us to learn the system or the teachings of Grigori Grabovoi systematically. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. So now I will go on with my personal experience. So Grigori Grabovoi is a famous Russian scientist, and the teachings of Grigori Grabovoi is the teachings on salvation and harmonious development of each person and all people together. And what is very important in the teachings of Grigori Grabovoi, that his teachings is practical. As soon as you start to study his teachings, you can practice it and achieve results. And in his lectures for the teachers, for the future teachers, Grigori Grabovoi recommends start practicing immediately as soon as people start learning. This is the very big difference of the teachings of Grigori Grabovoi with some other sciences and subjects. Because, for example, in this case, you will not have to study the whole book, then pass exam and be admitted to practice. You can practice immediately. And this is what I really did when started my first practice and studies from the concentration exercises. The first book I read and bought on the teachings of Grigori Grabovoi a bit more than 15 years ago. And now I will tell about my results which I am getting in everyday life, because every day I practice for myself, for people, just in case I see that someone needs help. Currently, I would like to tell you about one case when I helped my colleague's father who was seriously ill. My colleague was very upset and told me that his father, who had a prostate cancer, was in the hospital in a very serious condition. There was bleeding, strong bleeding near the area of cancer, and the doctors could not do anything. His father was at that time 81 years of age, and my colleague, my friend, was very upset because he had almost no hope for recovery of his father. Actually, that person was not informed, did not know anything about the teachings of Grigori Grabovoi, and he believed only in ordinary medicine and hoped for the doctors. So he didn't believe and doesn't believe in any other methods of curing. But as I understood that his father was in a very serious condition, I really and sincerely wanted to help him. Approximately at this time, I bought the book of Grigori Grabovoi, Numbers for Successful Business, and was reading the book. And just before this conversation with my colleague, I came to the page where the following method was described. In this book, Grigori Grabovoi gave a number series for each person to achieve success and live happy, eternal, successful life. And in addition to this number series, he gave an additional number based on which the same long, happy, eternal life will be ensured for another person if to use this number. So, starting from this very method to which I read the book, I started to work for this elderly person of 81-year age to help him. So here is the method how it is described by Grigori Grabovoi. So this is the number series which you can use for yourself, for your happy eternal life. A realization of near dying of yourself that is determined by number series 419318, 889 41898. And for never dying of another person, you may apply the same series adding after the series of 7 numbers 2890618. That is to speak, pronounce mentally for the purpose of never dying of another person, number series 419318 889 2890618. And what I started doing this to help the person. I knew the name of my friend's father, and regularly started to use this number within the day when I recalled or when I had a spare time of just 1-2 minutes. I used the number and continue working. So while working with this number, I recalled another very good method from the works of Grigori Grabovoi and started to use it together with this number which for never dying, for non-dying of person. And this is the method from the book of Grigori Grabovoi, Concentration on Numbers for the Recovery of Cats' Organism. Though it is for recovery of cats' organism, but in the introduction, Grigori Grabovoi gave such method, which is applicable to any subject, to any and to any person, to anything on the earth. It is a very interesting and very easy method. So because I used this method because the man who was ill was not acquainted with the teachings of Grigori Grabovoi. And first of all, to help him, it is necessary to transfer him the knowledge of Grigori Grabovoi. And this method, which suddenly came to my mind, of the work which I studied before, is the method which helps to transfer knowledge, information to other person. It is even recommended to transfer, for example, the knowledge of foreign languages. So to do this, it means to transfer knowledge, you should mentally place the words you have to study into the sphere. It means you or another person, into the sphere of love. Imagine that this sphere is approximately 5 centimeters above the head, and then the organism absorbs the light of the sphere. A kind of absorption of the knowledge you want to master quickly takes place. This way, through love, you can transmit information of healing to your organs and organism, to other people, and to all in general. This way, you can learn healthy, harmonious, and happy eternal life. So, this way, I started transmitting the knowledge about and the information about non-dying, and that it is possible to never die, to the person who was ill and who was in the hospital. That is, I inserted this number into the sphere mentally, also set the goal that the person is healthy, and carried out the method as it is described here, spreading the light on the person as if and watching as if he is absorbing the light from the sphere with the number. So I had been working with this method for about a week, and then I asked my friend, my colleague, how his father was. And he answered that the father was much better, and he was at home. He was discharged from the hospital. So I continued working for more 2 weeks. And then also in the conversation, the colleague mentioned that his father was fine, he was at home and was able to serve himself and was able to do various home chores. So the person was quite fine. And actually, I didn't tell my colleague that I used and transferred this number. I also tried to transfer him knowledge spiritually. But still, the person was fine, and he is fine now, though 4 years have already passed. So this is the method of application and transfer of the knowledge of Grigori Grabovoi. So there are a lot of methods, such methods, in the books of Grigori Grabovoi, because each book actually is a training manual. It is full of methods. If we consider exactly the statistics of the works of Grigori Grabovoi, of his scientific works and inventions, it will look like that. First of all, Grigori Grabovoi carried out some practice, which was documented and published as 3-volume book, Practice of Control, The Way of Salvation, volumes 1, 2, 3. Then Grigori Grabovoi provided scientific basis for this. He proved what he was doing in his practice through physical and mathematical formulas, and he defended this theory in 5 doctor's theses. He published more than 250 works. He registered 2 patents for inventions, received certificates for 5 discoveries, gave more than 400 of his own copyright seminars. So you see, to study all the teachings of Grigori Grabovoi, it is necessary to learn all this. But still we can study, for example, the initial works, start from some books, still get results. So we do not have to wait until we learn all these works totally. But we can study them and practice immediately and achieve the results which I have just described to you. By the way, I have a lot of such results in my life, and other students and disciples of Grigori Grabovoi also have such results after studying his methods, and these results are included in the next 3 volumes of Grigori Grabovoi's book, Practice of Control, The Way of Salvation, volumes 4, 5, and 6. So, moreover, Grigori Grabovoi provided the theory for his teachings, and at the engineering level, he carried out some inventions. So he produced some devices based on his scientific research and 2 patents, method for prevention of catastrophes and device for its realization, and the information carrying system. So actually, I would like to compare this period of the teachings of Grigori Grabovoi, for example, with that period when, for the first time, electricity was invented. What it was when it was just invented? Only the inventor knew how it will work. Then he taught several his colleagues or followers. Then they continued to put on paper and into theory and into other materials information about this invention, apply in practice, and so on and so on. It spread all over the world, and now all the world is using electricity, and even cannot imagine how we cannot imagine how can we exist without this usage of electricity. Currently, we are at that stage when we are just starting to study the inventions of Grigori Grabovoi. Actually, I mean by the inventions not only his 2 patents based on which devices can be created, but his new theory about the consciousness of man, because all the teachings of Grigori Grabovoi is about development of human consciousness. And each person, by developing his consciousness, will be able to achieve great results in everyday life, to achieve perfect health, perfect events of his life, and actually the person will be able to live eternally. And this is really true, because actually what prevents a person from dying? Illnesses and accidents. And if we are able to build our events happily without accidents, using, for example, clairvoyance, which is in the teachings of Grigori Grabovoi, we will avoid this and live. If we are able to recover from illnesses or not to fall ill at all, we will go on living, and that is eternal life. So, and I mentioned that I have been studying the works of Grigori Grabovoi for a bit more than 15 years. You see, it took me long, but still I get results. I get results when I work for my friends, when in my personal life, and I studied a lot of works of Grigori Grabovoi, attended seminars, and now we, together with Grigori Grabovoi, the teachers whom he taught to teach other people, he trained the trainers to teach his teachings. We teach these teachings for other people. So currently, there is a first test book, introductory course on the teachings of Grigori Grabovoi is developed. The textbook is developed and the course is developed. which provides the students the basic knowledge of the teachings of Grigori Grabovoi. First of all, it explains what the teachings is, how it works, and how a person can study and use the methods of Grigori Grabovoi to improve his life, to improve his health, and to develop, first of all, his consciousness, because everything is achieved through the development of consciousness. This is the great idea and the great theory and knowledge of Grigori Grabovoi, which he is currently providing to the mankind. So, and the main topic of today's seminar, to share the results. So I have shared with one of my results with you, and to explain how you can do the same, so you can achieve it rather quickly now, because there are a lot of courses developed, and by attending the courses you can achieve the same results better. Actually, today we are inviting you with Syok to the courses about which she will tell later in this presentation. So I want to emphasize that the teachings of Grigori Grabovoi is scientific knowledge. This is a true science. Everything he can do is proven by formulas, practice, and produced in the equipment. This is the science that helps people to change any event in the creative direction. The science of how the world works, how all the objects of our reality are interconnected. The science that teaches people through change and expansion of their consciousness to take their destiny into their own hands and learn, to develop and live forever. The teachings of Grigori Grabovoi on salvation and harmonious development is a system of knowledge which enables man, through his thinking, to tune his consciousness and attain spiritual development, thus enabling constructive and harmonious control of events. And I mentioned that such courses work, and some people attend already them and learn and are able to get very good results. And here I will give an example of healing, of how one lady healed herself after attending the courses and continued studying and practicing the methods of Grigori Grabovoi. And recently, of course, I am giving it with her permission, and recently he sent me such a letter telling about her wonderful recovery. So the testimony about the health recovery after attending seminars and studying the works of Grigori Grabovoi. I had been told, this is exact quotation from the letter of this lady. I had been told for a few years that I had problem with my optic nerve, which could lead to blindness. Today, I had my annual eye test and was expecting deterioration since I've returned to work as accountant and look at PC screen all day. I've been doing controls and today was told they are perfect. We'll have to work on number sequences to fix the eye muscles, but overall I had a great outcome. Over the moon about my optic nerves. Now they are to the Creator's norm, and I am very happy. I can add that to my list of health miracles and improvements, including my lungs, heart, cholesterol, bone density, and vision. I am so grateful for the knowledge that has changed my life, and I would be so appreciative if you could pass this on to Dr. Grabovoi. Of course, I will pass this information to Dr. Grabovoi in Russian. These are great results the person achieved. Actually, she achieved these results in those cases which are considered incurable by the ordinary medicine. For example, the illness which is related to the eye nerve. and she managed to restore her eyesight completely. So I invite all you to get such results and all results that you need through studying the works of Grigori Grabovoi and by attending the seminars. Several words about the seminars. What is necessary first of all to achieve good results? First of all, it is necessary to get the accurate information how to do it. For example, there are some engineering things which are very simple, but if you do not know, or if the technician doesn't have some training to work with them, it will never work. The same as with any science, with any subject, is with the teachings of Grigori Grabovoi. To achieve result and to use the method effectively, it is necessary to carry out this method exactly as Grigori Grabovoi explains in his works. And every work, as I told, is a textbook, is a manual. So at the courses, the main role of the teachers is to explain how to use the methods of Grigori Grabovoi correctly, accurately. And if you do this, you are sure to get the results you require. So this is the first part of my presentation, and I'm handing over the microphone to my colleague. Thank you.
You are now unmuted. Hi, Olga. I'll upload my presentation.
You can just download.
Yeah, I don't have the information.
Okay.
Yeah. Thanks. Apologies for that. Anyway, when we are just doing the technical thing, I'll just like to share with you. The next part of the seminar is with regards to how I actually practice myself, and some of the slides to share with you from Dr. Grabovoi, why we actually should follow his teachings according to the way that the textbook has been provided. And we invite you to actually come and join us for the course in Singapore. So, Dr. Grabovoi says in the Teachings of Grigori Grabovoi, all this will be provided for, really provided for in my teachings. In other words, each phrase of my teachings, each single segment, so system, first of all, really saves by itself and gives the system of harmonious development towards eternal development. But the integrated teachings give the whole apparatus spread to all levels of consciousness, to any elements of internal and external events. Therefore, the guidelines of my teachings are such that here and above all is necessary to consider the interaction of the required element at the right time. Hence, it's necessary to develop your spiritual state, your spirit to the level for you to be indestructible and to be always able to save all. So therefore, you have to consider the guidelines always together, although they are separated from the point of view of systematic approach. Okay, so how to achieve great success using the methods of Teachings of Grigori Grabovoi? The introductory course on the Teachings of Grigori Grabovoi will be available for people to attend from the 1st to the 3rd, from the 10th May to 13th May 2017 in Singapore, and also followed by the Course 2, which is the Recovery of Man's Matter by Concentration on Number, Roles, and Psychology of Eternal Development from the 14th and 15th of May. So for me, this is very important information I'll just like to read and share with you. This is how we actually transfer the knowledge and to enable you to understand why it's important to study in a systematic way. the Teachings of Grigori Grabovoi. So the information carrying system, which Olga has actually mentioned in the previous slide, the system of thought transformation into light radiation for information transfer for the purpose of normalizing, control and training. This light radiation is generated during thinking process and concentration when using the works of Grigori Grabovoi is protected by the patent for invention of Grigori Grabovoi, the information carrying system. This is from the introductory course, Teachings of Grigori Grabovoi, page 8. The information carrying system, the description of this patent includes the following. It follows that the theory of wave synthesis and laws of quantum mechanics that thought transform into radiation can have simultaneously two quantum states. The declared system of transfer of information operates as follows. Man, who is generating the thought, acts as an operator transmitting the information. So why is this important to me? Because for me, this is how I live as an operator, ensuring that all thoughts that I transform are actually normalizing. Therefore, by using the teachings of Grigori Grabovoi in a systematic manner, we can actually achieve this state. That means this state is always with you. So whenever you touch the teachings of Grigori Grabovoi, you are able to connect to the information, to the spiritual text of Grigori Grabovoi, and therefore you get results, and also you get development, and fast development. So, fast transfer of data with the help of thoughts to any system has been patented. This makes it possible to direct normalizing irradiation of thought to the area of eternal development formed by the works of Grigori Grabovoi, to the area of the organism and the environment, and thus create eternal life. So that is actually a human being's job, that is to follow the path of eternal development, the path of non-dying. And this is actually a very worthwhile path. And when you touch the works of Grigori Grabovoi and you study it, this is the way that you want to live, because you are able to save yourself and save everyone else and save your loved ones. And when you have this knowledge, then you are free, because then you are able to control your reality. And from the method of prevention of catastrophes and devices for realization. Therefore, the method has been patented. It proves that reading and studying the works of Grigori Grabovoi contributes to the normalization of the events of the person in the direction of eternal development. Since prevention of catastrophic phenomena in the organism and environment through application of your consciousness that generates biosignals through thinking organizes eternal life. So at all times, when you always touch the teachings of Grigori Grabovoi with the correct ideology, this is what happens to your consciousness. You evolve your consciousness very fast because it generates biosignals all the time through your thinking. How do I save? How do I save myself? How do I save everybody else? How do I save all elements of reality? This is how human beings should live, because that is actually true love. True action of the Creator, to act like He does, because He's always thinking how to save. So, from what I understand and what I do for my everyday life is that I am actually also the device that's created by the Creator. And from the introduction, the resurrection of people and eternal life from now on is our reality. In this case, the author says, a person in his work, instead of using devices made either in laboratories or plants, that is, artificially created, utilizes the device created by the Creator, his own body. It is this device that does the work, and we may say that all the books of this series are based on the second approach, which is, and as we shall see later, this particular approach should be the first and the main one. That is the development of our consciousness. And now we even have a device from Grigori Grabovoi to help us develop our consciousness, which is the PRK-1U. So the underlying aspect of the sign of Grigori Grabovoi science is practice, that is obtaining a necessary result. And since the most important characteristic of it is its continuous development, he does not build any systems which are strictly static, like a system of fixed unchangeable laws, but build a flexible dynamic system based on the necessary result. And when you actually practice using the teachings of Grigori Grabovoi, you are able to use all of his knowledge to actually create creatively and impact your reality and to actually normalize all your information systems. So basically, when you develop your consciousness, the concentration of consciousness means here, in actuality, an increase of the information compactness and increase of the mass data in volume unit. Such consciousness concentration may have far-reaching consequences. When in the process of a person's evolution, his consciousness concentration in a certain volume reaches a certain value, this volume begins to submit to the person and begins to submit to his consciousness. This is actually what we do when we actually transfer the knowledge, and also in the introductory course to actually enable a person to actually use the teachings of Grigori Grabovoi and his original works correctly to achieve this mass data in the volume unit, which is his physical body. So this is actually what I do every day, and with really good results. So one of my personal case studies is that because I always practice using the teachings of Grigori Grabovoi, and it's a lot of practice a day, because I know that it's necessary, because I want to be able to save myself and everybody else, and to ensure that everybody is safe. So when my mother was admitted into ICU, I used a lot of techniques from the teachings of Grigori Grabovoi to save her. So when you have somebody that you love, you want to be able to have the structures of consciousness to be able to impact the reality. So what happened was, when I was told the information, as we are told not to let negative information touch our to materialize, I said the information is not correct. She's not going to die. There's only a little bit of problem, and it is resolvable. So I use most of the books of Grigori Grabovoi, which is the Resurrection, a Recovery of Man's Matter using Number Concentration Rows, Psychology of to Normalize, the book on his psychology. And actually, I worked on my mom for non-stop for about 10 days. And she was 89 years old, and everybody has kind of given up on her because she was in ICU and having a respirator. And in 3 days, actually at 89-year-old, all her lungs were cleared. And she was given a diagnosis of possible heart attack and also a stroke. And even that, you can change the diagnosis if you actually have enough volition and light to actually normalize that. So what happened was, when she was, after about 9 days, she woke up. Her consciousness came back. She asked me, why am I here? So I said to my mom, so what happened to you? Because you made yourself get old. You know, you had no control over your physical body. So when you don't normalize yourself, this is what happens, because control becomes problematic. So therefore, we always use the teachings of Grigori Grabovoi to control to the norm, so that you will not be sick. Your loved ones will not be sick. You will not get old. You will not get problems in your life, and you will not die. So this is very interesting for me, because by actually by only being able to actually get personal results, that I have confidence to go on and also to share with others how to use the teachings of Grigori Grabovoi to first save yourself and also to save others. So in the introductory course of the teachings of Grigori Grabovoi, the author states, the teachings of Grigori Grabovoi is appointed to achieve eternal life by all. Those who receive the knowledge of the teachings should pass them to others through the teaching. Therefore, the introductory course consists of recommendations for the teachers on the teachings of Grigori Grabovoi. For teaching the teachings, you get a personal license or a sub-license, or sign a contract with an organization that has a license to propagate the teachings. Information of the introductory course shall be obligatory to be verbally delivered at lectures and seminars on the teachings of Grigori Grabovoi on salvation and eternal harmonious development. So we invite everybody to come to the introductory course on the teachings of Grigori Grabovoi from May 10 to 13, 2017, a 4-day seminar with a daily schedule of 9 to 6, and also followed by the recovery of man's matter by concentration on number rows and psychology of eternal development, May 14 to 15, 2017, 2-day seminar, and the daily schedule is 9 to 8. You can contact me. Singapore is actually a very lovely place. It will be held in Changi Cove, which is very relaxing, and it will be near the beach. So everybody is welcome, and we will have fun. So Olga will be she will be the main lecturer, and we are actually co-creators of this course. And we get along very well, and we always have fun. So we really invite you to come. Okay, so that's all I have to say. And I really wish you will join us. And this is a very worthwhile cause to actually live your life this way, to actually be able to save yourself and save everyone. And this is something that we have, it's our duty to God. And also it is our joy to be able to do this. Okay, so good night. I'm going to mute mine. And I'll pass this back to Olga.
Thank you very much. So I would like to confirm what Siok said, that we are seriously preparing to this seminar and are going to share with you our knowledge, our experience, for you to be able to achieve the same what we can do. So welcome. We would like to meet you very much at our course to learn the knowledge of Grigori Grabovoi and to spread this knowledge further. We need to spread this knowledge, this information to all people on the earth. And now I will make some small presentation about it relates about this new device PRK1U of Grigori Grabovoi. This will be a kind of announcement about the sublicense agreement with this device. So just a moment, I will change. So this is the device PRK1U, which is based on the inventions and on the science of Grigori Grabovoi. There are a lot of information now about this device in the internet, and I'm sure all of you know about this device and about the sublicense agreement for training program with PRK1U. But currently we are working, and it will be very soon, we already collecting applications based on the new type of agreement of training program with PRK1U. So I will tell you about the difference in these contracts, sublicense contracts with for training program with PRK1U. So this is the contract which is currently available and which many people have already concluded, including myself. And this is the sublicense agreement for the delivery of the PRK1U, which can be tuned, set for 8 persons, and the device is will be received by the person who concludes the agreement, and the cost of this agreement, sublicense agreement training program, is 9,700 euros. Actually, this cost can be, if it is not bought personally for private use by one person, it can be collectively bought this program by the group of 8 persons. And this is the cost which it is actually for one person. And how this agreement will work. So based on the first form, that one I have just shown you, a group up to 8 people is gathered by the head of the group who is concluding the agreement, signing the agreement. And the device, after the complete configuration, is physically transferred to the use of the head of the group. Then the group decide who of the group members will keep the device. This member of the group must provide through the application to smartphone and computers round-the-clock access to the device via a video application of online video camera directed to the device, or agree on the queue to use the device by the group members. However, the maximum efficiency of operation of the device is when there is the round-clock access to it through the program application of online viewing is provided. So to realize the maximum resource of the device, the head of the group is encouraged to organize through the central office of the individual entrepreneur in Belgrade update, modification, and periodic maintenance of the device. The cost of the use of the device, according to the sublicense agreement for a group of 8 people, is 9,700 euros. So the responsibility for providing access for other group members and organizing maintenance of the device is on the head of the group who signs the agreement. Actually, what is to happen with the current agreements which people conclude. And there is also the second type of agreement, which is being developed now and will be ready just within 2 or 3 days, and people can apply for such agreement. That is just application to use the device online. It means that simultaneously 8 people will be able to use the device online without knowing each other. Each one will conclude the agreement with the individual entrepreneur Grigori Grabovoi, and when the device is produced and set personally, will be able to use the device through special applications, video camera applications, through his telephone screen or computer screen. And so the cost is approximately the same as 9,700 divided by 8. Just the cost of USB is added here because the agreement includes one, and here each member, each person will receive his separate USB. That is it. And so this is the new form of agreement which will be concluded with persons. And how, I will tell you actually how it will work. This information about this new agreement and how it works was given by Grigori Grabovoi, and it was his personal request to explain people how it works. The second form of the sublicense agreement is designed for the remote use of the device via the internet. The advantage of such a use of the device is as follows. In this case, it is not necessary to collect the group. One participant of use of the device may not be acquainted with another. The upgrading, modification, and periodic maintenance of the device will be carried out in the central office of the entrepreneur in Belgrade. It will be possible in real time, depending on the individual data of the users of PIK1U, to implement the increase of the power of the device and additional adjustments of the devices during their operations. So I give the summary of the methods of usage of the devices based on 2 sublicense agreements, based on 2 programs of usage. Actually, they are both effective, and each person can choose what to conclude, and each has its own advantages. For example, if a device is bought for a family, of course the family may choose, or personally, for some person wants to have to possess the device personally, the first form of agreement is available. And if a person just wants to conclude an agreement and work himself online with the device, and the effect is still the same as when the device is kept at home by the owner. So the person can apply just for conclusion of agreement to be connected to the device through an internet application and work with the device through his smartphone screen or PC at home. So this is the difference in the program, and you can apply, if you haven't yet, for any through these links, through this internet addresses. So email grigori.grabovoi.pr@gmail.com. You can send your application mentioning whether you want just to be concluded online or you want to have a sublicense agreement for the program with the home device, which will be delivered to you. So this is the information I wanted to tell you about the device. It is new. And maybe you have some questions or want to ask something. Please, you may ask your questions in the chat. So, if no questions, I think that what we were telling you was clear, you understood everything, and I would like to thank you once again for coming to our webinar, and we'll organize more webinars about the teaching methods and how the methods will be taught at on-site seminars and in the future. The methods of Grigori Grabovoi and how you can master and assimilate better the methods. We're going to organize other webinars. So thank you for coming. Bye.